Welcome everybody to the Garlet's High Performance Garage channel. Hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. It's almost over, unfortunately. Doing a video on the Chevelle here, and I've run into some issues, and I will share those with you. Kind of sucks because the issues I'm having are, I had some troubles about 10 or 12 years ago with some things on the car. It was my turn signals and volts gauge quit working about 10 years ago. Might have been even sooner than that. I was at a car cruise, and let me clean this damn lens off here. I was at a car cruise, and it was the big Main Street Frostburg car cruise, and I was cruising around, which I don't like to do in that because there's so many cars. It's such a tight area, and it's bumper to bumper traffic. It's stop and go from one end of Main Street to the next. And it's really grueling on your car when, you know, you're sitting there and it's 90 degrees out and it's sitting there idling the whole time. And back then I didn't have an electric fan. I just had the fan from the water pump. It was a manual on the car, and it would overheat pretty bad. So I got to the end of Main Street, and I looked down, my volts gauge quit working, and the turn signals quit working. And I parked the car, opened the hood, and the positive battery terminal actually melted off. It was actually melted away. And I replaced the battery cable, and I could not for the life of me figure out why this was happening. I had no idea. And then a couple of days later, it just started all working again. So I never messed with it. It's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it things. And now here we are, 10 or 12 years later, I'm having the same problems. Now, it didn't melt the battery terminal off, but I have no turn signals. I have no volts gauge now. My radio doesn't work. My toggle switch to my scanner light in the grill, like the light from Knight Rider that I have on here, it does not work. The power is gone to that. The heater or blower motor doesn't work now. What else? There's something else in there I'm missing. No, we covered it all. We covered it all. Yeah, those things just quit. The radio and the toggle switch quit one day. I had it on the lift, and that's when I was doing the transmission service on the Turbo 400, and we changed the fluid twice. We changed it, ran it, changed it. Unfortunately, the fluid is still very gray in it. I guess it's going to need overhauled sometime. I'll probably do it next year, but those things quit working. The radio and the toggle switch quit working when I backed it out of the garage down there, and I never worried about it because it's not a big deal. I can reroute the power to both of them. And I checked all the fuses. The fuses are good. There's no blown fuses. There's power to everything that needs power. But there's such a mess in that steering column, I'm going to have to tear it apart in order to look. I ordered a turn signal switch and a harness for the column. They're on the way. Ordered them from a company on Evil Bay. That's where I buy most of my shit because it's not as expensive as buying it here. And I get it. I got to wait a little bit longer for it, but it's worth it, and the shipping's free. So I'll show you what. And the turn signals and the volts gauge quit after I took the dipstick out of the transmission. It was over full with fluid because I got the leaking real bad. I had it like 2 quarts over full, And these automatic transmissions, they don't like that. When you do that, it starts spewing fluid out of it wherever it can to relieve the pressure. So that's what it was doing. It was blowing it on my exhaust underneath the car. It was raising the dipstick tube up out enough to blow it out all over the pipe. And transmission fluid catches on fire pretty fast. So I was lucky it didn't do that. It just smoked really bad. So I noticed that I took it for a ride to the store that's about 10 minutes away from here, and I noticed that I had no turn signals, no volts gauge. That stuff quit simultaneously. And also, the heater motor stopped. So, actually the heater motor went first. I think it all went at the same time, but I didn't pay attention. So, I had my fuel pump run in through that heater switch, the fan blower switch. And I went to start it up one evening. I had it sitting outside. And when it started up, I had just enough gas in the bowls to get it in the garage here. And then it wouldn't start again. And I noticed the filter out there wasn't filling up with fuel. So, and plus I couldn't hear the fuel pump. And the heater blower fan was not working. But then after that, I lost turn signals and volts gauge. Volts gauge is reading 0. I thought maybe the battery wasn't charging, but it turns out that it is charging, because I also have a light in the dash from the factory that goes on. It comes on if it's not getting charged. It says generator. So I already troubleshot that shit. I got the dash top tore off. I'll show you that here. And I'll tore apart here. Turn this light on so you can all see. And got shit down here tore out. I'm just gonna take the steering column down. Of course, I don't know. You can't see from this side. Walk around the other side here. Can't really see it because of the light being in the way. It's really hot here today. But anyway, as you can see back in here, my mouse friends have been taking the insulation out. And you can see clear down in there the floor. There's not a lot to this thing. There's not a lot of wiring. I can't really see very good down in there. But anyway, yeah, shit. You can't really see it all much. But there's no broken wires. But there isn't no power to some of this stuff down here that should be. Now, like, the glove box light still works. It's right here. The lights going into that heater still work. But the radio does not work still. The cigarette lighter does work. You have to kind of hold it in because that's not the lighter that's for this car. But you have to hold it in to get it to work. So if anyone has any knowledge of this or any suggestions at all about maybe giving me a tip or two on what I should do, because I am not very good at wiring. I mean, I restored this car. It has the factory wiring on it. And I am not an electrician. I cannot wire things to save my ass. I wire things on stuff. Sometimes end up doing it again because I get it wrong. So, and I even checked these wires down here that go to the starter, because I pulled the dipstick tube clear up out and I put a new O-ring seal on it. Plus that fuse for the transmission, it was down there laying on top of the bell housing. Don't know how the hell that got down there. It used to be in the middle of that wire gutter right there. All these older cars have that fuse. It's from the Little Fuse company. You can still get those. They're not cheap anymore. Of course, what the fuck else is today, right? But anyhow, yeah, I got a half-ass starter wrap, but yeah, none of the wires were broke from the starter, and I thought maybe something was going on between the distributor, the starter, and the alternator, maybe. So I came out, I fooled around with those wires, shook them, jiggled stuff under the dash, messed around. One day I did get the volts gauge to work for it was like 3 seconds when I turned the switch on. It bounced up there to about 11 volts and then bang, right back down to 0. So there's something not right. Not sure what the hell it is. But it's one of those things where it aggravates you to death and just makes you an irate motherfucker while you're working on it. And I lose my temper really fast when I'm fucking with shit like that I can't figure out. I guess you can call me a pussy if you want to for getting pissed off. But I mean, the car runs and drives. All the other lights work. I have high beams, low beams, 4-ways, brake lights. None of that stuff is affected. But you can turn the switch on here. You can see the volts gauge and nothing. Turn signals, nothing. So here's my generator light showing that nothing's being charged. But I don't know what the fuck I did there. Fuck my mirror up. Anyway, so maybe you can, any of you watch this, or if you even care, jot a thought down in the comments. I'll check it out. But in the meantime, I'm going to wait for my turn signal switch. These fucking GM columns are a whore. I dread even having to pull that thing apart. Because then you got to fish them wires down through. I have these motor manuals. They don't go too in depth with the wiring. I think they have a wiring edition, which I might try to get later just to help me with anything in the future. My dad tells me, oh, you're going to need a wiring harness. You might as well buy a new wiring harness. Put in it. But God damn it, I don't want to. I don't want to fuck with that shit. Ah, man. I just sooner take an ass kicking than fuck with wiring. There's so many goddamn car shows to go to, and I can't go to none of them. Because this one has fucked up shit going on. I gotta have turn signals. I can't help it. That's a pet peeve of mine. If that don't work, man, it's like when they're not working, everybody's using theirs. But if I have them working, not a fucking soul will use them fuckers. And like this son of a bitch here, I put a voltage regulator in it. Alternator tested out good. But now we need a battery. That's another $120 right there. So I can't get any batteries cheaper than that. If you want a good one, you're going to pay for it. That's all there is to it. So, everyone, if you have any suggestions, leave a comment. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Maybe I can, I don't know, try a couple things. I'm not sure exactly because there's so many goddamn wires in that switch, that turn signal switch. I mean, one could be broke, maybe. One could be corroded inside and I not see it. There's so many fucking things that it could be, to make that fuck up. I mean, I was just going to go ahead and just run it anyhow. I have a class reunion coming up at the end of July here that I really want to go to because I've been out of school for 25 years. And I would really like to go and see some folks I haven't seen for a while. Of course, it won't be the group that I hung out with, but whatever. I mean, people change. Shit happens over your life. So if you all are graduated folks and are thinking, my God, I hated those assholes I went to school with, just think, those people change later. You change. Lots of other people change. You never know. You could go to one of your class reunions and make best friends all over again. You never know. I mean, people grow up, people change. So keep that in mind too. But anyhow, flies have been shitting all over my fucking car since it's been in here. And also I was thinking about clear coating the hood because these stripes are vinyl. They're just like stick-on vinyl. I was thinking about roughing this thing up and taking my shot at clear coating it, maybe. I don't know. Because I have a nick in the stripe. Before I let y'all go, I'll show you that. I don't know what the fuck happened. I may have hit it with something. I was swatting my hat around at a Hornet in here the other day. I may have hit it. I don't know. But there it is. It's a gash in my stripe. I can't have that shit. You get to rubbing on that son of a bitch. There. See that shit? It's bigger already. Man. I was thinking about gluing it, but then you have a hunk of glue there laying. It won't last. It won't stay there. So I'm thinking if I clear coat the hood and the trunk, this panel up here, clear coat them heavily. Plus I'll clear coat my stickers under there so they won't wear out. So I got a bunch of scratches back here. I took the old Chevy chrome I had here, the chrome sticker that was here, off, and it left a bunch of scratches. See them brief. You can see them a little bit in there, but yeah. All right, everybody. Stop running my mouth and being stupid and whining to you about my problems. So as you can see, everything's kind of been at a standstill here. I haven't really done a whole lot other than drive myself nuts over this wiring issue. So everybody have a good one, and maybe next video I'll make, I'll have it fixed when we cruising again. So everybody have a good one. Stay safe, and maybe you'll be able to go somewhere gas prices are coming back down. Hopefully get back down that $2 range at least. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.